Today in front of me, we have the Smokeye Hill Barrel Proof Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a brand that some may have never heard of, but need to put on their radar ASAP. Is this the George T. Stagg Killer? Let's find out. So this Smokeye Hill Barrel Proof Bourbon was barreled, aged, and bottled over at Hazelwood Spirits Company out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. It was distilled over at MGP or Austin Squig. Comes in at 131.2 proof and is made up of a 4-grain mash bill that is made up of blue corn, yellow corn, rye, and malted barley. Guys, this won the best bourbon out of the 2024 Ascot Awards. It was blinded by many judges and given top honors. Again, it beat out one of the most sought after from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which was the George T. Stagg. Let's get in the nose. There's a lot of dark fruits on this, but part of this reminds me of a like a blue raspberry kind of candy. You do get some darker notes. You do get a little bit of like some of that leather. You get some dark fruits, like some plums into like further into the glass. Further away, you do get some dark, rich caramel, some burnt brown sugar. That blue raspberry cotton candy kind of note that's further into the glass is very dominant. It definitely sticks out. The further that you go in. Further away, again, there is more of those traditional notes. It's like again, the brown sugars. There is a little bit of leather that's kind of wrapped around there as well. Slight little bit of some plum, some dark plum, maybe some dark raisin there. Has a beautiful dark rich nose to it though. Let's get into the palate, guys. Cheers. So some of those dark fruit notes kind of hit you up front. Again, it offers some of that plum. I still get this blue raspberry kind of note, like a candy there that goes from the front of the palate into the middle of the palate. Middle of the palate starts to bring some more of like that spiciness to it. Almost a little bit of some white pepper. Then into the back of the palate, it kind of goes back into that like dark mode. You're getting some raisins, maybe some almost like chocolate covered raisins, a little bit of some plum back in there with some of that like peppery kind of finish. Surprisingly, for 131.2 proof, it has a fantastic viscosity to it. Tons of viscosity. There's tons of flavor on this. At that high of proof, sometimes you'll find whiskeys where the flavor will be stripped, and this is not the case on this whiskey. It is full of flavor, fruitiness, dark fruits, sweetness, there's some brown sugar starting to appear there on the front of the palate. Let's get into a second sip. Yeah, those darker fruit notes still kind of sticking up front like that plum, and then that blue raspberry note that I'm getting is still there, kind of sitting on the palate. And then in the middle of the palate, the spiciness has kind of died down, and there's a nice kind of rich kind of oak presence there on the center, and then it's kind of flowing into the back of the palate now. And the back of the palate is kind of where it goes dark again. It's like a chocolate covered kind of raisin. There's some plum back there, maybe a little bit of like some leather that I'm getting. Something that it comes off a little drying, but then again, like the viscosity of it though has just really kind of centered around like the cheeks and then the soft palate up there at the top. But man, that is a fantastic whiskey. Again, the flavor profile on this is just absolutely gorgeous. And being a 4-grain, again, utilizing that blue corn in there with that yellow corn, the rye, and the malted barley. Very interesting mash bill. I don't have any percentages on it. That was all undisclosed, but I feel like it definitely made some of that unique kind of sweetness that I'm getting on the nose and on the palate. Let's get a last sip, guys. Cheers. Getting more of like the darker notes that start to flow through there again, like that chocolate covered raisin and some of that plum, some of that leather. It's a little bit of that like white pepper spiciness now. I think the spiciness from the peppers kind of died down, and it's more of a proof hit now. That 131 proof. But the finish on this thing it's a medium to long finish, borderline on that long side. This is an outstanding whiskey here by Smokeye Hill, and I can't wait to see what these guys do down the road. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. I want to give a big shout out to the team over at Smokeye Hill for supplying me with this bottle here to review on the channel. Guys, there's a reason this whiskey won the best bourbon. It is absolutely fantastic. The flavor profile on this thing is just absolutely killer. I can't wait to see what they do down the road. I still had half of the sample from the Ascot Awards. I drank that and I looked at my tasting notes, and they are very similar to what I typed into the Ascot Awards, outside of that that blue cotton candy note. I got some blue raspberry, but that blue cotton candy note was one that I didn't pull out until drinking this glass here. Fantastic job here by Smokeye Hill. Again, well worthy of that Best Bourbon Award. So guys, if you're looking for more reviews like this, hit that subscribe button, bell notification to be alerted of any upcoming reviews or live streams. You also find me on Instagram at Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews. Till next time, guys. Stay dusty.